transfer stories to speak about, and let's go over and talk about Jed Spence now. Obviously, Forest qualified through the playoffs to the Premier League yesterday, winning 1-0 in the final against Huddersfield. And he said after the game, Nottingham Forest means everything to me. Playing for Forest next season? Hopefully. So that kind of puts a bit of cold water on his move to Spurs. Romano said Bayern left the race after signing Mazraoui from Ajax, while Tottenham are still interested, but there's no official bid yet. Sky Sports Lyle says Nottingham Forest plan to bid for Jed Spence and are now more confident of retaining him after they secured promotion. And Charlie Eccleshare says that Antonio Conte would like a new right wing back, and Middlesbrough's Jed Spence is someone Spurs have admired for a while. What's your opinions on this? And do you think that we can still get it over the line, or do you think...
I don't think it's dead. I think, obviously, he's had a great season at Nottingham Forest. It's turned his season around, the fact that he's got into team of the season, and he's earned promotion for them, and he's now become one of the most sought after wing backs in England after his performances. So he obviously definitely feels an emotional tie to Forest and how they've allowed him the platform to perform. Especially maybe because I think Neil Warnock might not have before, judging by what he had to say about Neil Warnock in it after the game. He did a tweet.
Do you like that?
He did.
Do you like that in a player?
I mean, I think a lot of good players have that. Maybe they wouldn't do it publicly, but like Harry Kane says, proving people wrong is what fuels him. So he seems to have the same mentality. I don't think there's anything bad about it. He just wanted to prove him wrong. Maybe it can come across as gloating or whatnot, which is something that people don't like. But look, he's clearly been told by Neil Warnock that he wasn't good enough or something. I don't know. I don't really know the context behind it, to be honest. But clearly something's gone on, and then he's proved him wrong. So fair play to him. I think when he says, look, you got to remember he's still a Middlesbrough player. So he hasn't decided, he's not in no agreement to be a Forest player or anything next season. So when he's asked, does he want to be playing for Forest next season, and when he says hopefully, I think he just means he wants to be in the Premier League, because at the moment he's a Middlesbrough player, right? So obviously if he's got a chance to join Forest, that's assuming that maybe there aren't other deals on the table. If he's got a chance to join Forest, I'm sure he would take it. Doesn't mean if he has a chance to join Spurs, he won't take it as well.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't asked, are you going to play for Tottenham next season? And he said, hopefully, you know. He was asked about Forest. So that doesn't surprise me. Obviously, it does make it more unlikely, because the Forest, I'm sure, will try and retain him for next season, because he was a big part of why they got promoted. And he'll maybe feel a sense of loyalty to them, or maybe he'll feel that he wants to complete what he started by getting them promoted and see how they do. And maybe he'll think that there's going to be opportunities for him to leave in the future anyway, so there's no point rushing. But I don't think by any stretch it means that there's definitely no chance we get him either. I still think that if we really want to get the deal done, might maybe be a bit more expensive now, but we can still get it done. But it might be too expensive.
I mean, the tweet was him sitting there with a cigar in his mouth and with the playoff trophy there. And the tweet says, "Oh, where's my manners? Welcome to Twitter." And then he added Neil Warnock with a kissy emoji. And then actually, Neil Warnock quote tweeted it and said, "Well done, Jed. I did say you were a Premier League or non-league. Glad you listened and took my advice on board. Now go and enjoy your success. Those cigars won't do you any good, though, son." So, yeah, I mean, I did see that quote from Neil Warnock earlier on the season before he loaned him out. And he says, Jed Spence is either going to be a non-league player or a Premier League player. There's no in between with him. So, that I mean, that clearly shows that Warnock rates him. He just doesn't rate maybe his attitude or something like that.
Well, he looks like he's going to be half right, at least. Definitely going to be a Premier League player. For next season. I'm not sure which team he's going to be at, but he'll definitely be in the Premier League, and I think he deserves it. So I think we'll have to wait and see on this one, see which moving parts goes where, because if Forest get in early, they can definitely tie him down and make sure they get that one over the line. But it doesn't mean that this is dead for us. I wouldn't say just because of that quote it means there's no chance.
And in terms of Spence and maybe some other right wing back targets, I mean, who else would you like to bring in, maybe aside from Spence, if he does end up going to Forest or somewhere else?
I'm sure there are plenty of options for us at right wing back. I mean, who would I like? Potentially Singo from Torino. He's an up-and-coming one who's also got a high ceiling. He's one I'll definitely look at. I can't remember off the top of my head who I'd want. But
Dumfries.
Yeah, Dumfries. I'd look at him, but he's going to be obviously a bit more expensive. But there are options. Look, we have a scouting network for a reason, and I'm sure they've got a few lined up if Spence doesn't work out.
All right. Well, that is...
Mailer. No, sorry, not Mailer. Mukiele, who we're going to talk about later. He's also a good one.
All right, well, that's that on Jed Spence. Let's talk about Alessandro Bastoni now, the name on every Tottenham fan's lips at the moment. Dan Kilpatrick says, as it stands, Bastoni is reluctant to leave Inter. Deal not dead in the water, but Spurs will have to convince him. Although Bastoni is reluctant to leave, the Serie A side are thought to be close to agreeing a deal for Torino centre-back Gleison Bremer, and this may push Bastoni towards the exit, which would open the door again for Spurs. Ali Gold says that Tottenham are set to pursue a deal for Bastoni, with suggestions that Bastoni is keen on a reunion with Conte, but the main hurdle is prizing him away from Inter Milan. Tottenham are set to pursue Conte and Paratici's favourite Bastoni from Inter, who is seen as the heir to Jan Vertonghen's throne.
Sounds good. Look, it was always going to be difficult. I think we're deluding ourselves when we think that someone who loves Inter Milan as much as Bastoni does, it was going to be easy to get him from Inter Milan. I think financially we can probably do the deal, but I think obviously Inter are going to fight to keep him. They're going to fight to get the best deal possible for him, especially as he's one of their best centre backs. So I think it is going to be difficult. Doesn't mean, again, I think there's still a big chance we can get him. As long as we can. I think this is all bartering from Inter Milan, trying to drive the price up as much higher as possible. I do think if we strike a deal with Inter, Conte can convince Bastoni to come. I really believe that, as much as I'm sure Bastoni is happy to stay at Inter Milan. I don't think he's in a rush to leave. I think he's happy there. But if we do strike a deal with Inter, I'm sure Conte can... Bastoni once described Conte as the Messi of coaches. So I think clearly he rates him very, very highly. So I believe a deal can definitely be done. It's just about the negotiation stage with Inter Milan, and then if that goes well, we can get over the line. I believe that, but it's not. Bastoni, it was never going to be easy.
Bastoni probably owes a lot to Conte in his career. He's the one that brought him through. He probably got a lot of his kind of tactical advice off Conte, and really bringing him through the ranks at Inter Milan and giving him his chance to make him the player he is today at such a young age. So I really think that he would like to link up with Conte again, and I think if the deal gets done between the clubs, I don't see Bastoni rejecting us. I
agree. The only one thing that makes me feel like could possibly count against us is the fact that Conte's reputation is a short term, only to be here 1 or 2 years, and would he really want to leave his beloved club Inter Milan just to be under Conte, who might leave? That's obviously something you have to think about. But he'll have to be convinced that Conte is not here for the short term and he's here for the long term, and we're all hoping for that as well. History suggests that might not be the case, but maybe we can change history, and that's what we got to focus on. And if we can convince Bastoni that, look, he's here for the long haul and he's planning on building something at Tottenham, and maybe Bastoni want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. So that is Bastoni and Jed Spence.